Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
You gave me a heads up?
Yes, I did.
What did he say?
Well, look, I can't speak for the chair specifically. I can't speak for him. And what I will say is, but I have an enormous amount of respect for him, and I think he's doing a great job to help reform our party.
Did he support it?
No.
Okay.
And there are differences of opinion, obviously, but ultimately here, we want the same thing. We want to get back to winning, and we are a big tent in our party, and that includes in our strategy sometimes.
All right, that was DNC Vice Chair David Hogue being I think a little bit eviscerated by Simone D. Sanders, at least held accountable, which I appreciate, which is the job. We're going to talk a little politics with one of my favorite people, but let me just tell you, Omi Bell is here, another one of my favorite people. Omi Bell is here as well, and joining us, Hit 'em Where It Hurts is the book. She's out there. She's been doing the work. She rolls up her sleeves. She does it all the time. She's tireless in this fight for our freedom. Rachel Bidikofer. Hello.
So great to be back.
Well, thank you for coming back. I'm a little bit on the side of not giving an F about what's happening politically. I'm leaning in. Yeah, because I'm tired of politics, people's lives, real lives. I'm looking at the damn student loan that people are going to have their pays garnished and all this bull crap after they could have had a person that was going to forgive your damn student loans. Now we got this, right? And that's going to send people into bankruptcy. Quite frankly, it's going to disproportionately impact Black people because we have more, Black women in particular have more degrees in student loan debt. So I'm like, the world, we're in war. There's this El Salvador thing. We got Congress people going there vowing to not come back. I'm like, I might want to go too, and not come back. But it's disconcerting, and I don't see a Democratic Party. You got Rahm Emanuel and damn Gavin Newsom and all these people out there that shouldn't be running nothing, nowhere, talking about they're running for something. Sit down. I'm just like, we don't have any leadership anywhere. Not Republican. They're scared. Lisa Murkowski talking about I'm scared, and everybody out there being scared. So, ma'am, I don't know what are you doing in the midst of this?
Reality, right? I spent all of December and most of January before the inaugural knowing what was coming and anticipating and kind of mentally resetting. I too turned off the news for like a month. I watched sports radio. The Ducks were in the playoff for the college football championship. It was wonderful. I have a crush on Colin Cowherd and have for years and years. So it was really easy for me to go away. But my job is to not go away, right? My job is to make sure I'm tuned in. One of the things I started talking about is how because this is a 10-year thing, okay, that we may see people pull back entirely and stop participating rather than see a surge of participation. Now, that was in December, January, February, right? I'm less worried about that now, but there are people that are doing that. And here's what I will tell you is that, we are in a pot. You think about being a crab in a pot, right? We've been in this pot for a while and the heat keeps getting put up. We're in a pot that's boiling now. We just don't know it because the water got hot so incrementally we didn't feel the scalding, okay? And to really illustrate that, just take this one thing from Trump, the Hegseth scandal, right? Leaking our military, sources and methods, classified intel to his wife, right? Like this stuff, that stuff, that's the big
and brother-in-law
security scandal
another
we've
group
ever had, right? yeah. So and yet there's not going to be an investigation because the Trump administration controls the DOJ and the FBI, and unlike every administration previous, they have politicized it. Joe Biden's DOJ investigated Hunter Biden, his son, right? But what has now happened is that gatekeeper effect that they have from control of the federal government has basically brought us into a place where there is no rule of law for the Trump administration. And it's a very dangerous place. So even though it's hard, and I launched a new podcast after the inaugural called This is America. And it's like based on a reporter from Berlin in the 30s. He was stationed, in the Third Reich, and he was reporting from there. So it's kind of a shout out to him. But what it does is it kind of tells you collectively, what is the story this week and going forward that you need to know, so that if you want to tune out completely, right, and you don't want to be watching each headline, because I mean it's like being on a you know what I mean, like this all day is me, right? And I get why people don't want to do that anymore, especially because we saw so many exclusives that we thought were going to kill this beast, right? It would be this expose and that expose and this impeachment and that report. And like, it just always, none of these headlines ever mattered, right? None of the headlines ever mattered. So people who are tuning out, fine, but at the same time, don't tune all the way out, because if you tune all the way out, the next time you poke your head up, you might find that you're not living in a democracy anymore.
Oh, we already are not.
I mean, really, we're not.
I mean, we already are not. If there's no Justice Department that can hold accountable the president who has broken the law,
yep,
then what democracy do we have? The justice, the third branch of the, three branches of government said, bring this man back. He said, no.
Nope.
The Supreme Court, 9-0. Yeah. This is what I knew. I mean, we're already there. You're right. The water is boiling. I don't want to, I'm never going to be a crab. I'm outside the pot watching, and I'm not stirring either. I'm like, and I'm pack my bags and I'm at the door waiting, because as soon as this thing goes down, I'm out. But I'm looking at this, like, I don't see what can be done. So that's why I don't focus on it, because, talking about it every day doesn't change the, white folk were in the streets on Saturday, and I mean, people, not just white people, but overwhelmingly not black people, were in the streets again, second time. What has come of it? I just want to know what can be done.
Okay, I'm so happy that you're going to give me that opportunity, because I want people to be angsty, but I don't want them to be demoralized, right? And so let me tell you guys, okay, for those of you who've caught our many appearances together on your show, your wonderful show, Karen, they might know a little bit more about, the strategic shift I've been working on getting the party to adapt, which is, displayed behind you so nicely in your bookcase. And here's what I want to tell people. When there's a DNC chair, right, and there's an incumbent president, that DNC actually position is subservient. It's subservient to the administration, their comms team, their election priorities, their strategy. And basically, that chair has to serve at the pleasure of the incumbent president, right? So the RNC chair right now serving at the pleasure of Trump, right? Now that we're in the minority, there's no one around to stop the DNC from putting the strategic path forward. And the new chair, Ken Martin, just so people understand the potential here, he, number one, he bought 3 copies of the book for every state party committee. That's 57 because of the states and territories last year. And if he would have had his way, I'm sure we would have been running negative partisanship strategy much more broadly in 24. But now he's in charge. There's no one above him, and he's really leading that. And one of the pieces I would like you guys to Google, if you just want to feel a little bit better, is the DNC is launching a new war room. It's really a strategic plan, right? And it's got 4 different elements to it. I think you guys are going to like it. I don't want to, reiterate it and go into detail, but you'll see what the DNC is planning. And I can confirm that they're not just planning this stuff. Like, there's balls in the motion right now. Okay. And why that's important, folks, is because, yes, we've seen white people come out twice now, right? But here's the thing, like, where they're coming out is very interesting, right? For example, Williamsburg, Virginia, where my parents live, it is very, very like Republican-y, like small town, okay? But like it's suburban town, I would call it actually, right? They had about 1,500 people on the side. I never thought in my life I would ever see a protest in Williamsburg, right? And why that's important is like to save ourselves, there's only two things that can save us: the people and the Republican Party. And the Republican Party ain't gonna save us, right?
Experience Karen Hunter.
In a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.